Hey everyone, I am Diana, and this is my battle buddy Jess. We want to welcome you to our new podcast.
Unfiltered and Unarmored.
We are just two veteran women who came together to create this podcast. We have real conversations about life after the military. We want to heal together. We're finding ourselves all over again in the middle of the chaos we have every day.
Yes. And when we say unfiltered, all that means is it's raw, a little funny, and definitely spicy.
And if you've easily offended, I am so sorry, but because we're grown adult women that we cuss.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so let's introduce ourselves, Jess. So I'll let you take the lead on this one.
My name is Jess. I'm retired Air Force, spent 20 years in the world's
Boo.
Air Force.
Just kidding.
This is normal camaraderie. If you're in the military or ever been in the military, you know that we have these love-hate relationships with each other. So
Yes, that's true.
basically, in the Air Force, I did a lot of things, but what it boils down to is nerdy shit. I loved it. I could talk all
Hey,
day about my job, but we can't.
somebody has to do
Right?
it. It's not easy to do that part.
You're right. You're right. I'm married to my best friend, Paul. He is my ride or die. I don't know how I got so lucky to find him, but he truly completes me. He makes me feel like I am his equal and he makes me feel seen and heard, which is exactly what your partner should do. I have one son, he's 25, and I'm very proud of him always. And Paul has a daughter, she's 18 and about to graduate from high school. Originally, I'm from upstate New York.
Boo.
And it's funny that you say that because I live in the South. So it's like a culture shock to live down here in a very slow paced, relaxed environment where I grew up and even in the military, I guess. It was very, go, go, go. We had shit to do, shit to get done, and we didn't take time to chit chat. It was like, all right, just tell me the details. All right, bye.
Yeah, you had to move with a purpose, definitely. I can
I,
totally relate to that because I'm from South Florida and I live somewhere up north now. I'm not going to tell you exactly where because I do tend to have some type of privacy. But I can totally see that, when you're in a fast paced area, like even in the military, you're going all always go, 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 go 24/7. You're a soldier, you're an airman, Marine, whatever, and you're always on the go. And then when you
yeah.
finally realize that you could calm down, I think we all decide to just pick a place where it's away from everything and all the bullshit.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Diana. I am an Army veteran who I was a 92 Yankee in the military. I love logistics. If people know me, they know that I used to walk around like I was the hot shit because I knew my job. I learned very early that the more you know about your job, nobody could ever really mess with you. And it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a flex. I feel
Yeah.
like the more I knew my job and I could help and do better, people would just leave me alone. Even I told my brother, he's in the army, I told him, learn your job. Once you know every in and out of your job, nobody will ever mess with you. I am also married. I've been married for 19 years this year. Whoa, that's a long time. Yep, especially for military. I do
Yeah.
love being married to my husband. However, it's pretty comical to say that every marriage is perfect because it's not. It comes with its
Right.
ups and downs, and you do have to pick your partner perfectly. So I'm happy for you and Paul. I consider my husband like my little Viking. He is amazing. He supports me in everything that I do. It took a while to get there because we do have a lot of issues sometimes that we had coming out of the military. But besides that,
Mhm.
we're good to go. We weren't fortunate to have kids because I had a military injury. And like I said before, I am from South Florida. And from my accent, my parents are Colombian. So please, I apologize if I don't pronunciate stuff right because that's just the way I am. And I love myself for it too.
Don't worry about it, girl. We love you just the way you are.
Yeah. So for our audience to get to know us a little better, I kind of want to ask you a couple questions. In the process, I'm getting to know you as well better. Just
Yeah.
so I want to ask you if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
First is kind, but don't ruin my street creds. I like to keep that on the DL. I can be a little neurotic, and I think that comes from being in the military. And I'm definitely spicy. I can whip out that New York so quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
spicy
can.
like a little spice jalapeno, girl. You will bring the spice to it. I agree. I think you are an amazing person. You're very loving and caring, but at the same time, you don't give people access to who you really are, which
Yeah.
I think is amazing. For me, 3 words that describe me, I'm a very blunt person. I definitely would tell you like it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. And the reason why I feel like I'm that way is because if you kind of like babysit people all the time, they'll never grow as a person. Sometimes it's better just to rip
Mhm.
that band-aid and just tell them how it is. And I'm a little loquita, obviously. So yes, and my last one is amazing, but it depends who you're asking what a kind of amazing I am. Because if you ask my friends, they probably think glitter, beautiful, amazing. But if you ask my husband, sometimes it's like, no, you are amazing. I cannot believe you were able to do that. You're the only person in the world that managed to do that. So you amaze me, kind of thing. So it depends who you really ask. So how about something that people get wrong about you, Jess?
Judgment. It's a fear and a pet peeve of mine, like all wrapped in one. Going out and being prejudged by people before they actually get to know me, it's very hard for me to cope with. Being in the military for 20 years, my RBF is strong. Like, I can fuck someone's day up just with my look. But when I take off that mask and I'm in front of a group of people I don't know, it's vulnerable. And a lot of people tend to do the perception is reality. They never get to know me. And I do take that very personally, but I'm working on it. It's a
I
process.
No, it definitely is a process because you can't really judge a book by its cover. It's like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes you walk into a store and you see somebody with dirty shoes and you
Mm-hmm.
automatically assume, oh my God, they're bad people or like shoes are considered something nasty. But
Ew.
but the truth is that you
Mm-hmm.
really don't know who you're talking to. Maybe they were at the park with their kids. Maybe their garage got flooded. Maybe they
Right?
had a bad day or they just didn't care about the way they look. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
definitely not taking the opportunity to actually get to know the person before you start judging them. Yeah, so I feel that deep. For me, I am going to make something spicy, like you said. What people don't know about me is that I know how to dance. Like I said, I am married
Mm-hmm.
to my little Viking. He's actually pretty good at dancing, but he doesn't appreciate it as much as I do. And I love dancing salsa, merengue, bachata, like all that stuff. And I used to love dancing. Maybe I should dance more, but I just keep myself away from public just for other reasons. But I used to love dancing. And a lot of people don't realize that I know how to dance just because I never show that,
That
I
side
don't
of
show
you.
that side of me. Yeah. So people
Yeah.
assume that I don't know how to dance, that I am a Latina. And believe me, I do. I surprise people like Shaw.
You have to teach me
Oh yeah,
anytime.
definitely. I am always up for teaching people how to dance because I think it's something fun and it's something that it really does help you with your self-esteem in a way.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Yeah. So now let's move into what part of the military life stayed with you and that you actually like that it stayed with you.
Okay, so good and bad. It's the attention to detail. We had to pay attention to detail. No matter what service you were in, it was ingrained in you. When it comes down to it, like I take pride in what I do, and I see other people's work and they don't really take pride in what they do. You should have done, paying attention to detail, do your due diligence, all that goodness. Now, the bad part of attention to detail is I have like basic training flashbacks, and my
Mm.
husband having to do all the laundry because I just had knee surgery, and he folds my underwear a little bit differently than I do. I still fold my underwear the same exact way that I got taught when I was in the military. And it sounds funny, but it drives me up a wall. I love you so much, Paul. Bless your heart. He does such an amazing job for me. But when I open my drawer and I see how he folded it, even though he took great care to fold it the way that he folded it, I'm like, I
I
need to
get it.
refold it.
No, I get it because it's the
So,
way that you do certain things that nobody else can do it.
yes, exactly.
And part of it with me is discipline. If you really think about it, is the
Yeah.
discipline of keeping your underwear, your socks, everything organized a certain way. So that's
Hmm.
something that for me was a big thing in the military, like being disciplined, being able to get up, do the whole day. Bad part of being disciplined is when things don't go the right way, it really messes up my whole day.
Hmm.
So I can go from 0 to 100. I just hate it when something goes wrong and it
Hmm.
just ruins my whole day, ruins my whole week. It ruins like everything in between.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it could be good for being disciplined, but at the same time, it kind of sucks for me personally.
Hmm. I get that.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing that you could consider that changed after the service for you, what would it be?
I would say friendships, and the adaptability of friendship. So when we were in the military, pretty much everyone that you worked with, you could be frenemies, but pretty much you are all friends. So we all go to basic training. We've all gone to tech school together or AIT. We all have these commonalities, regardless of our race, gender, creed, anything. And we all share this bond that when you get out of the military, it's not that same bond. My husband thinks it's hilarious. I can go up to a stranger
I'm
that's a
sorry.
veteran and I'm like, hey man, hey girl, like, what's up? And he's like, "How do you talk to these people? You can't even talk to the neighbor like that." And I'm like, "Well, it's different. We've been through it. No matter what, even if I've never met that person, like I know them. They're family regardless." And outside of the military, I just have a real big problem with keeping friendships, being able to trust people, just being able to get honesty, which is very important to me. It's very hard for me to trust people now.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, like you said, like we go to basic training, we go to AIT, and you meet your people. But it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what, like you could be in a room with 100 people, which I personally won't get into a room with 100 people. But I'm just
Nope.
saying, for the podcast sake, you could walk into a room and there's a bunch of civilians there, and there's one person that's in the military. And you will connect with that person in the military just because you know that's your brother or sister in service.
Yep,
And
exactly.
then you automatically have a perfect connection with them, and people don't realize that. And in the
Mhm.
other side of the room, then you have people, civilians sometimes are, I feel that they're not considerate how they react towards you once you tell them you're in the military. I think the
Yeah.
first thing is like, hey, were you in the army? Were you deployed? Where did you go? And do you do something to somebody?
Yes.
So at that
Ugh.
point, I'm just like, why are you assuming that I'm like this metal machine that I'm just gonna go brrr, like a movie, like a movie? That goes back to the topic that people don't realize that you're actually assuming that we're a certain way when we're really not.
Yeah.
But that's one of the hardest parts to deal with as a friendship. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like for me, the biggest change was before I was in the military. I was carefree. I didn't care about anything. Like being
Mhm.
a Latina, like my mom would not even let us pick up the mail on the, because the mailbox is on the street and you never know. And porque uno nunca sabe is the exact word my mom says, because you never know what could happen to you.
Mm,
And
yeah,
honestly, like what is really gonna happen? What are the odds of like a car passing by running you over when you're picking up your mail?
right.
Like
Hardly any.
0 to none. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's
Right.
something that you don't worry about. That's being
Mhm.
carefree, like chilling, not even caring about world. Once I joined the military, I think that carefree attitude changed
Yes.
through discipline. And then I'm always walking around like, hey, I know who's in front of me, who's behind me, the person in the
Mm,
left, person on the right. I walk into any place, I automatically know where all my exits are. I know if things go down, I have 3 or 4 or 5 scenarios in my head that I know that I'm going to do.
yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that the mentality of a veteran completely changes. We're not carefree anymore.
Right.
So for
Right.
me, that's like one of the things. And the funny one is ringtones. I don't know if I'm the only person that dislikes the way that ringtones sound.
No, girl, I get you. It startles
I
me, and I don't like to be startled.
I hate that, especially when people are like sending you messages and it's like ding 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 ding. So if I don't answer right away, is because my phone is always automatically on mute, and I have
Yeah.
to have my watch on, so my watch could vibrate and tell me that somebody's looking for me. If I don't have it on, I probably miss 1,000 calls, text messages, and honestly, it's not important because I'm taking a mental health for me, a day off. So funny story. This is how I found out that I hated ringtones. When you're in the military, back in the day, and you stayed in the barracks, and you were single before we all got married, I remember they used to call the CQ desk and call you and look for you, say, hey, somebody's looking for you. That you would have to go down to the CQ desk, answer the phone, whatever. But
Yeah.
once cell phones started being like everybody had a cell phone, it was a lot easier to look for you, to find you, to ask you for stuff. And being
Mhm.
supply, everybody needs something from you. I need
Oh,
a
yeah.
pencil, I need a pen, I need this, I need that. It's like you don't have a single moment by yourself. So cell phones kind of ruined that for me. How I
Mm,
found out was one day me and my husband were sleeping, and I think one of his soldiers had a issue or something. Mind you, when you're in the military, you're 24/7 on call.
mm,
So I guess one of his soldiers got in trouble or something, and they kept on trying to reach my husband. Obviously, my husband was a good NCO, and he was trying to sleep. Sometimes you go into that deep sleep that you don't hear your phone going off, but I
mhm.
sure did. And that phone started going ding, 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 ding. And it was driving me literally nuts. I literally wanted
Mm,
to grab that phone and just throw it away out the window, break it. I don't care. I just didn't want to hear it anymore.
yeah.
But then that's when I realized, hey, we're on duty 24/7. And if somebody needs us, the easiest way to find is to call us on our cell phone.
Yep. Exactly.
And that is why probably I hate ringtones, and I never realized it until I started working again. And let me tell you, I am an iPhone person by luck. Maybe the iPhone is not as annoying, but the Android with that whistling beep, 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 or
Oh,
whatever sound it makes
mhm,
drives me nuts. And I had a
yep.
coworker that had that ringtone, and I would go home so mad
Mm,
every day after work, and I had no idea why.
oh, man.
Until I finally realized that was making me upset was that his phone kept on going off all the damn time. And he had the same thing for games, for messages, for
Oh,
calls.
no.
So it didn't matter what kind of alert he had, it was the same thing. And it would
Oh,
just drive me nuts.
oh, it's triggering you over and over.
Yes, and I had no idea. So when by the time I got home, I was already mad, in a bad mood. Didn't want to talk to my husband. Didn't want to cook.
Yeah,
I just wanted to be left alone. And it was
yeah.
okay. But that's why it's important to find our triggers. So now that we are connecting with our audience and stuff, I want you to tell us the story of how we met, because I honestly feel like it's a very funny story. I think it's funny and unique. And I
I
guess it
think
could be
so.
more modern than how we would have met years ago.
Diana and I met online through an
Ooh.
app.
Girl, that sounds like that sounds like, "Oh, girl, we met on an app." No. Once you
Dating.
really get to the story about it, then you know, because that's the beginning of a horror story. Like, "Hey, what happened was," and if you know that sentence and you were in the military, you know what happened was is the beginning of a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So, I volunteer with a nonprofit several times a month, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. It's an organization that supports veterans. I
Yes.
donate a majority of my time to helping women veterans.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. And the job that you guys do is amazing because honestly, even when you get out the military, it's really hard to find a connection with just women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like when we were in the military, it was a lot more men,
yeah.
bros. And now through the years and through a lot of like foundations like you guys and stuff like that, and people that volunteer, that made it
Mm-hmm.
possible for women to be connected with each other and to understand what we go through. And sometimes some things is not, some things are normal that we go through, but it's just an amazing. So circling back to how we met, I was in a class, it was a craft class that just was teaching. I had gone through like a little moment of something personal, so I stopped going to the classes. And one day, I remember a long time ago, I had put in one of the chats, I put my email. I didn't know Jess got my email, but she did. And this stalker, no, I'm just kidding. She sent
That's what
me,
it
she
sounds
said,
like.
she sent me an email saying, "Hey, this is Jess. I was wondering, why haven't you been online in the classes? Are you okay? Is everything is fine?" Which at first I thought it was really nice, because for somebody to reach out for you to you like the way that you did, it was amazing. It showed
Mhm.
me that you cared and that you were worried. So I really like that. I think that day I actually gave you my phone number, which I really don't give to anybody. So I called you. I think we talked about an hour or two, and we just kind of vibe,
Mhm.
and we just fed off each other's
Mhm.
energy, made a thing better. That's how I ended up kept keeping in touch with you and stuff like that. And we ended up connecting to in more classes and stuff. And I decided to have this amazing idea, since you already work with female veterans, for us to do this podcast, because I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like it is important for us to share our experiences, especially
Mhm.
for women that don't have that support at home, that
Yeah.
don't have that supportive husband, that are going stuff through kids. And being a veteran alone as a female can be isolated sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if we have this space that we could just talk about, or you guys could listen to us for 30 minutes to an hour, it doesn't matter. But you could relate to what we go through and let you guys know that you're not alone.
Yes, exactly. We want you to be able to feel seen, feel heard, and feel safe while we're doing this podcast. So we really do want to encourage you to definitely send us DMs. You can email us. We'll put all that information in the caption below. But we really want to hear from you.
Yes, we definitely do, because we want us to be like a community that really doesn't exist. Like in your case, your husband wasn't in the military. He could
Right.
listen to the podcast and kind of relate to you a lot more than
Oh yeah.
before. So it could help like different relationships. That you could have your mom listen to it and say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not able to express myself, but this is
Mhm.
what I feel like sometimes." And it just can totally help all of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, with that being said, I want to kind of talk about how hard military life was, but what's even harder is turning into a civilian. Because
Mhm.
honestly, I wish it came with like instructions because that's really hard.
Yes. Yeah, I think you said it before. We came from the structured, whatever shift we're working, if it's 0600 going to PT. I didn't always do PT because we didn't have it every day like the Army does.
Oh, that's
But
right. You're Air Force.
I'm just saying.
Unfortunately for the Army, we did have PT every day. So you would have to wake up at 5:30 just to make it a formation at 6.
Hmm.
And let me tell you what civilians don't understand, which is funny. If you're 15 minutes early, you're already late.
Yep, yep.
So yeah. And that's part of it. Part of the thing is that you go from this structure where basically, you have to be a PT at 6 and you go to a DFAC if you're single.
Hmm.
Had to take in consideration that some of us actually have to go back home, take care of your kids, take them to school, whatever,
Hmm.
or attend your spouse. Then after that, get ready, go back to uniform, eat some breakfast if you have time. If you're single, you just go to the DFAC, go take a shower, get ready for
Hmm.
work, and then go on. And even in between, because I know when I was single, I was able to sneak in a 30-minute nap. But that's just me. Then by the time you go back to work, and if you don't have meetings or you don't have formation and you don't have all the BS that comes with being in the military, because you definitely have different hats that you have to wear. Then
Hmm.
after that, you have, lunch, which the good thing, and that this is the whole friendship thing that you were talking about. You have a group of friends that you go to lunch every day you're in the military with at that same duty
Right.
station. If you're not busy at 11:30, everybody's out. We're going to go eat lunch, McDonald's, DFAC, wherever you want to go to lunch. Then you have an hour and a half. Then you have to go back to work. Sometimes you get off at 1600. Sometimes you get off later than that. Sometimes you spend
Hmm.
all night. Sometimes you have duty 24 hours. I mean, it's just so
Yep.
random the schedule, but you already know you're in that mindset that, hey, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
Now, when
Exactly.
you start transitioning into getting out the military, I think that's a really hard part because we kind of grieve leaving the
Hmm.
military, even though we're so excited at the same time.
Yeah. Totally. I felt out of place all the time. I didn't know what to do, where to go, how to feel, and I was so used to 20 years of this is what the uniform, this is the attitude that I had to have, and now I'm free. It's like it was really difficult for me.
And I think part of it is that we miss that bond that we have with each other.
Yeah, totally. I was telling you yesterday about getting together with other military members, having them over to our houses, when we're doing promotion ceremonies for a long weekend, holidays, birthday parties, baby showers. We all got together. We had that camaraderie, and it's just not the same anymore. I don't do that in the civilian world. It's different.
I think it becomes a hassle because at least all in the military, when you're all in the military, you pretty much have the same days off. Everybody has the same
Hmm.
schedule.
Yeah.
Everybody's like on point. And then in the civilian world, is like I feel like, wait, if you're gonna invite someone over, everybody has a million excuses to do it. Like, oh well, I have to bring my kid, or can I bring this, or I can't bring that, or it just
Hmm.
becomes so frustrating, and it becomes like more of a hassle to invite people to come over than it
Hmm.
actually making it fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I do remember one time when me and my husband first got married and he came back from his last deployment and stuff. And we had a bunch of soldiers that didn't have anywhere else to go for Thanksgiving. And that's another
Hmm.
part that you become as a senior NCO and stuff like that, like yourself. You bring them to your house, you feed them, you make
Hmm.
a whole Thanksgiving dinner or potluck, whatever.
Yep.
And it's just a family of unity. It doesn't matter where you come from or if you got a beef.
Hmm.
It's just that one time that you could all stay together, connected, and just be grateful that you guys
Hmm.
are together.
Exactly.
In
Yeah.
the civilian world, it's not really like that. I think it's more complicated because sometimes you
Hmm.
just don't fit in the place that you go to because you feel out of place.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And I think for me, the hardest part was trying to make excuses not to go to places I didn't want to go. Ended up
Yeah.
going, having a terrible time, panic attack, and
Yeah.
then either way, people were going to talk crap about me anyways. So little by little, they just stop inviting you to go places.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's your case as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Same exact thing. Peopling is not my thing. Peopling, the way that we're doing it now, that's awesome. Peopling in person is the soul right out of me. And I just can't.
I totally agree with that because sometimes people just they irk you and they don't understand you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on top of that, then you have like your marriage life, and then you have motherhood and other people's relationships that they just don't understand.
Hmm. Yep.
Like I said, I've been married for a very long time, and me and my husband just created a culture in our marriage where it's kind of like we don't feed off other people's relationships. So basically, it's what we created and what works for me in our marriage that definitely doesn't work for other people. I don't know if this happens to you or to you ladies, but when me and my husband talk to each other, we talk to each other like we're battle buddies. Like he's my friend. We're like, in our honeymoon phase, you're like, hey, Blue Falcon or whatever you want to call it, And it's like super funny and comical, and it's completely normal for me because
Hmm.
that's how we'll be treated. But some people see it as in like, oh, why are you talking to your husband that way? You're so disrespectful. I don't understand that relationship. It doesn't work. And that's when I tell people it doesn't have to work for you. Mind your own business. It works for me.
Right.
It works for him. Get out of the way. I mean, obviously we're doing something that works for us. Why aren't you
Hmm.
focused on your marriage and your situation?
Yeah, exactly.
And the crazy part is that it really doesn't matter if it works for me. It works for me, and I'm happy with it. So I don't know if a lot of
Hmm.
women feel that way, where people criticize you the way that you are with your partner. And let's be honest, some of us could be really mean, and we need a strong man
Hmm.
or partner in our life that is gonna like stay there with us and take and appreciate every second of our life. Because sometimes it's
Yep.
really hard. Being married is hard, and enough to
It
say that some of us have been in a relationship numerous times with other people and been married more than one time, which is
is.
completely
Hmm.
normal in a military life because you just don't understand each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think you hit on a good point because that's me. This is my third marriage. The first one, we came from different services. We spoke different languages, basically. And if you're a veteran or if you're in the military, you know what I'm talking about. You totally speak different languages. And
Yes.
then in my second marriage, there was a lot of unresolved trauma. And I don't really know how to explain this one,
I think
but
you were just both in different time zones, like where you were still continuing your career, where he just completely got out.
yeah, yeah,
And then you were
definitely.
just at two different levels of career wise. And
Hmm.
sometimes that's really intimidating for men.
Yes, it can be very threatening to your partner when you exceed their rank or when you are in a better position than they were when they were in the military. And I don't really get it, but I know that it happens because that definitely happened to me. And I hope that other women out there don't have to deal with that. And if you do, you know what? It's okay. It's normal. We're here if you want to reach out.
Yeah, I completely get that. I think maybe in my first marriage, obviously I am in on my second marriage too. It was something like that. I think I was just more of a kid when I got married the first time and I didn't really
Yeah.
realize what was going on. But like I say, sometimes I feel like you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet the right one. And sometimes
Yeah.
you have to be in a shitty relationship first to understand your value as a person and as a woman,
Yeah.
to know what you
Yeah.
want and what you deserve. So in my case, it was like that. I love my husband. He's amazing. Sometimes he's
Hmm.
not. Like sometimes I'm
Hmm.
at 100, he's at 0, and we just balance each other out in that kind of way. But honestly, it could be scary, intimidating not to find the right person because
Hmm.
I have a theory that we cannot choose our mother or our father. We cannot
Hmm.
choose our kids. We can't choose who
Hmm.
we are born to or our family members. But the only
Hmm.
person we should be able to focus on and choose is our forever person, your
Hmm.
husband, your wife, your partner, whatever. I
Yeah.
think that's very important for you to find someone that's going to be there for you, that is going to support you in the good times, and that understands and values you as a person.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's something beautiful that you have with your husband.
Hmm.
It might have
You
taken
know,
you
my
30
Paul's amazing.
times, but you got it right, girl.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think another thing that we undervalue a lot is that I'm not a mom, but I'm an aunt. And I feel like being a tia, sometimes it could be hard because you always want to protect your nephews and nieces. So I cannot
Hmm.
imagine how hard it is for a woman to be a mom and to be dealing with everything that they have to deal with on top of everything else.
Yeah, definitely. Just like a quick thing for me, how it affected me and my son during my 20 years in, I ended up being away from him for 4 years. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it may not seem like that big of a deal for me as an adult human, but as for him as a growing boy, by the time he was 18, I had already been gone for 4 years. That's mind blowing. I felt so much guilt when I retired because I was away from him for so long. I never wanted to be away from him for any bit of time. I held on to that guilt and I still tell him, like, I'm sorry. I fucked up being in the military for that long, but it has provided us a great life. So there's ups and
I
downs.
Yeah, there is. I feel the same way about marriage because I know when you're far away from your spouse or from your children, I believe so. It's really hard to connect again all over again because you're
Oh,
back
yeah.
into a routine. I feel like I
Yeah.
know my husband's last deployment, he was gone for a year and it was really hard for me because when we got back together, he had his issues, I had my issues, and reconnecting
Yeah.
all over again is like starting a new marriage, starting to get to know
Hmm.
each other. And not only, but in 6 months, in a year, even the 9 weeks of basic training, you change as a person.
You do.
So being
For
away
sure.
from your kid, I could totally see that. Like I said, I don't have children, but I can see that it will affect you and feel guilty about it. But at the same time, you got to look at a different angle that you are providing for them and that you're
Yeah.
sacrificing everything you can for a better life for them.
Hmm.
But it's okay also to feel guilty about it. It's completely
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
As you get older, you realize that being outside the military, it comes with PTSD triggers. And in a way, you need to learn how to set boundaries,
Mm. Yes.
which is so
That
hard
was.
for women to have boundaries because I think we're raised from like little girls, like, hey, you got to be a princess and you got to marry a prince and whatever, even the
Hmm.
times are changing. But at the same time, it's like you never have a boundary because you have access to everybody. Like you're the daughter or you're the mom or you're the wife, and
Hmm.
you just feel like you have to carry everything with you. And sometimes
Hmm.
we're so afraid to say no.
That was the hardest word for me to say. I am still literally working on it, but that is one of my boundaries is saying no.
And it's so
Oh, yeah.
easy just to say no sometimes. It really
Hmm.
is. People might think you're dramatic or whatever, but it's actually really real. And it takes a lot of toll on you. I think that when you're in the military, you become a fixer. You want to be able to
Oh,
fix
yeah.
everything. You
Totally.
want to be able to
Hmm.
be the tia, the mom, the sister, the wife. You want to be able to good neighbor. You want to be the good friend. But
Hmm.
sometimes you don't realize that you overstimulate yourself. And there's a point where you have to protect yourself and have some type of boundary and not let stuff
Hmm.
affect you as much.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think in the whole process, this is why we lose our identity of who we are because we allow ourselves to give so much to everybody else.
Yeah, we spent however many years, active duty or in the guard or in the reserves, just giving, giving, giving to everybody else. And then we can't figure out who we are once we get out.
Yeah, and then some of
Yeah.
the triggers, I'm gonna be since we're getting to know us a little better, I'm gonna share a story. I know I have issues with my family when it comes to my PTSD because they don't understand it. They assume that
Hmm.
because you're the daughter or I don't know, you're like superwoman to them for some reason because you're a
Yeah,
badass. You were in the
you
military,
are.
and yeah, we are. Yes, you're absolutely correct. But to the extent that certain things that I struggle with, at least with my sister and my brother, is that I'm not the cool sister. I'm the sister that is
What?
responsible. Yeah, I am not the cool sister because I can't go to the club anymore and like go fist pumping all night
Oh.
and be on crowded people. So as my siblings grew up and got to the stage that they could do all this stuff, I was already kind of exiting. I
Yeah.
wasn't there for that anymore. I was just like out, you know, dealing with my own issues. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember one Christmas, my sister came to visit me, and it was really cool to see her, spend time with her. It was around the holidays. I'm not the type of
Hmm.
person that likes to go to the mall because it just overstimulates the whole everybody being there, the smells, like everything. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm the only one that feels that way, but if you
You're a little
identify with
girl.
this, you understand what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to Bath and Body Works. I think they had that one sale that is $1.25 or something like that they always do every year. And I took my sister. I already knew it was super crowded in there. And for
Mm.
some reason, I don't know if it was the smell, it was the many people trying to wrestle for a freaking bottle of perfume, which I thought it was hilarious. I had a panic attack in the middle of the
Oh,
store.
God.
So I had to walk out. My sister was looking for me. She didn't know what was going on. I was just like, breathing hard. I
Mm.
had no idea what was going on. I couldn't like see straight. But what she didn't realize that not only was I having a panic attack, she didn't know what to do with me. I was
Mm.
also worried about the people that were in there. Were we in danger? Where were all the exits? And now I'm panicking, but I'm
Hmm.
also panicking because I'm worried about you, that you're worried about me. Try not to freak you out. So that's when I feel like it gets really real for our family members when you go through something
Yeah.
like that, and they realize that you're not really joking around, that the stuff that really matters can really affect you. And
Mhm.
you stop going to family events, you stop going to like, birthdays and stuff like that because there's certain
Yeah.
things that you want to hide from people and that you don't
Yeah.
want to be known like, oh shit, I'm crazy.
Right. It's funny. I mean, we're laughing about this, but it's serious. Those are legitimate fears. Just thinking that other people think that we're crazy because we are reacting the way that we are. But it's true. It is deep and ingrained in us now. The littlest things can trigger us and set us off. And it's freaking scary. But if we have that support system or a partner or a best friend, that we're with all the time, if they are able to recognize it and get us to our safe space, that just means the world to us.
Yeah.
I know I'm speaking for both of us, but it really does mean the world to us. And I'll definitely talk about that in a later episode.
Yes.
So you know what to expect from us later on. But
Oh yeah.
that's definitely one thing.
Yeah, and I could actually tell you from this experience. I don't know if my sister ever told like my mom or anything about it, but I know I told her. I was like, "Look, I was kind of embarrassed. First time I see my
Aw,
sister in a while, and then I'm freaking out, and she's freaking out because she doesn't know what's going on, and I'm trying to explain to
yeah.
her. It's just a very hard conversation to have to people. Is that once you're like when you're in that situation, it feels like you turn the light on and that you can't turn off right away.
Right.
So
That.
after that, we were at
Mhm.
the mall for like maybe an hour and a half waiting for me to calm down. And I'm
Mm,
still not like from 100 maybe to 75. I was able to get back in the car, drive us back home. And then after
mm,
that, it's just like a week or two where I was just like done. So it kind of ruined
mhm.
the whole situation that could have been
Yeah.
avoided by me not going to the mall and listening to her because she wanted a body spray. But this is the real talk that people just don't understand. Something as simple as a smell can trigger you and you just don't know how you're going
Mhm,
to react. Like if you're in a car accident, I think some veterans don't care about the materialistic things, you know. The car is going to be
mhm,
fine. You could put it back in the shop. You're more worried about, are you okay? Is the other person good? Is everybody okay in the car?
mm.
And you're really chill about it because you know how to act in those kind of high stress moments. You could have a ringtone like me, and that just triggers me. It's amazing how you could go from 0 to 100 over something that shouldn't really bother you, and you just don't understand.
Right.
This is what our podcast is really about. You know, we're gonna have funny episodes. Sometimes there's gonna be hard conversations, and we're here for you. We're here to humor you, to reminisce because we do have a lot of stories and a lot of things. And
Yeah.
I think we all need it's a part of our healing process that we're able to talk
Mhm.
about it. And sometimes we don't know who is going to listen to us or who can relate to what we've gone through better than
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, this is the reason why we made this podcast between me and Jess. It's just like she has her stories to tell and her triggers. I have my story to tell. We're not here to be perfect. So yeah, I might sound a little raffy, you know. The Colombian could come out and it's completely nice. We're not here to be criticized or to just be the best at the thing. We're not therapists. We're just two women
Nope.
that like to have fun in a
Mhm.
chaotic world. And we're hoping that you get to enjoy this podcast and you could relate to it and see what we bring to the table because there's some things that we just don't talk about.
We're definitely here to create a safe space for you to help you feel more comfortable in your own skin and just show you that you can relate to other people. You're not alone and that you can heal and laugh at the same time.
Yes.
You can laugh at yourself. I mean, Diana and I have already been laughing at ourselves at some of the things that we've done, still
Oh,
do,
yeah.
and that's okay.
And my
Um,
motto is if you can't laugh at yourself, then what's the whole point of being funny? Because I'm a one person show that is for myself. And I laugh at myself all the time. I literally
you
don't
do.
need any medication or anything. I just laugh at myself because I do silly stuff. And I'm clumsy too, so it doesn't help.
If you want to hear more of everything, the life we live, the chaos in between, the life we're living now, and everything, then listen to us, follow us on our social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebooks at Unfiltered Unarmored. And also, we have an email account that's the same, Unfiltered Unarmored at gmail.com. And definitely hit that follow button and stay tuned for new episodes.
Yes, please, ladies, feel free to send us DMs to let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good. Good or bad, we could only get better from here. Or we could get
Hell
worse.
yeah.
Who knows? But the whole point of this is just for us to share an hour with you while you're cleaning your house or you're on a ride to go pick up your kids or whatever it is that you're doing. Make it this
Mhm.
time to be your time for self care and maybe have a laugh or two with us.
Yes, definitely.
So, thank you for getting to know me and just a little bit better in this episode. We
Mhm.
definitely will bring you more episodes. And hopefully you like us. If not, it's okay too. No hard feelings. All right, ladies, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.